vacant WBA International Middleweight Championship.
Tony, I want to come to you on this one. Liam Smith, Aaron McKenna, a tough fight. A year and 7 month long layoff for Beefy. Up in a tough fight against a young, hungry opponent that wants to bang. How do you see this one going? What do you make of this fight?
He's 19-0 with 16 knockouts for a reason. He's obviously got pedigree. He's a good fighter. But Liam is here to show he's not washed up and he's not done. And I think he will. I think he'll come through a tough first 4 to 5 rounds, and then I think he'll see off McKenna in the back end of it.
You have to give Liam so much credit for even taking this fight. Like, what? I mean, a lot of people won't even know who Aaron McKenna is. No disrespect to the kid, but he can really fight, and he's brave. But that may be his downfall. I think that suits Liam.
Well, let's hear from the fighters themselves. Jamie, take it away.
Okay, Aaron, fight number 20, and look at this for a stage as well. Intense face-off there with Liam Smith. What does this fight represent in your story and your journey so far?
This is what I've been training my whole life for, what a spectacle this is, and I intend to make the most of it. I have the utmost respect for Liam Smith, but I'm too young, too fresh, too sharp, too big for him, and tomorrow night he's going to realise he made a big mistake taking on me.
In one word, how do you do it?
Devastating fashion. KO always.
Great stuff. Aaron, wish you the best of luck tomorrow night. What a fight this is, and let's head over to Liam Beefy Smith. Liam, I just asked Aaron that question. What makes this an important fight in your career? You've been at the very top, but what makes this an important moment for you as well tomorrow?
Every fight at a stage of this magnitude is hugely important. The eyes on you. But like I said many times since, the last time I was in the ring, I put in a bad performance, and this time round I'm looking to right the wrongs and prove I'm still the best middleweight in Britain. And Aaron McKenna's a tough young kid, but one not ready for me just yet.
Just finally, he says devastating fashion. What's your version of events just finally?
Just a typical Liam Smith performance, and I'll break him down, I'll stop him.
Top man, Liam, wish you the best of luck tomorrow night.
Our next 2 fighters competing tomorrow in a trilogy rematch scheduled for 12 rounds, and it will be for the vacant WBA Intercontinental Light Heavyweight Championship. It is brought to you in association with Frank Warren for Queensberry, Gold Star Promotions, Wasserman Boxing, and AY Promotions. Let's first welcome, from Manchester, England, his professional record, 24 wins, 2 defeats, 16 of his 24 wins coming by way of knockout. He is the former IBO Light Heavyweight World Champion, Lyndon King Arthur. And now let's welcome, from Ilford, London, England, his professional record consists of 26 wins, 3 defeats, 24 of his 26 wins coming by way of knockout. He is the former 2-time world title challenger and ranked number 5 by Ring Magazine. Here is Anthony, the Beast from the East, Yarde. First to the scale, Lyndon Arthur. $174.6 for Lyndon King Arthur. Now to the scale, Anthony Yarde. $174.2 for Anthony, the Beast from the East, Yarde. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, these two competing tomorrow in a scheduled 12-round contest for the vacant WBA Intercontinental Light Heavyweight Championship.
Anthony Yarde, Lyndon Arthur, the third of the trilogy. A little bit of needle as they talk to each other. What do you think they're saying to each other, Carl?
I have no idea. Well, I'll speak Tony. What are they saying, Tony?
We're before the watershed, Tony, so...
You know what? They've done this twice already, so you won't know what's getting said, but I don't think there's any real hatred or animosity between these two. I just think there's a level of respect, but it digs at Anthony. Anthony doesn't like the fact that he touched upon it a couple of days ago. Doesn't like that this kid's got one over on him, and it doesn't sit right with him when he puts his head on the pillow at night that he's 1-1 with Lyndon Arthur. It's him who's insinuated the rematch. It's all down to Anthony Yarde. Can Lyndon Arthur repeat what happened the first time?
It's going to be an incredible fight. You know, he's spoken about his mental headspace and the reasons why he wasn't quite right in the first fight, but that doesn't change the fact that it is 1-1. This is the decider. I'm excited for it, Carl.
Yeah, I'm excited. I think it's a decent fight. The second fight was ended pretty convincingly by Anthony Yarde. He'd be looking to do that again, but Lyndon Arthur's a proud man. He's got a team behind him who back him. Pat Barr, I know, has got a lot of things to say about this fight in particular, so I just think it's going to be a great fight.
Well, we might find out what they were saying to each other, because Jamie is with the fighters right now.
Okay, a trilogy to look forward to in the chief support tomorrow night. It's one apiece between Lyndon Arthur and Anthony Yarde. Lyndon, final face-off. I have to ask, what were you saying to Anthony Yarde there?
Nothing, it's just a bit of banter back and forth. He's telling me I look scared, apparently. Do I look scared? I look scared? No? Yeah, petrified, I told him, so we'll see what happens tomorrow.
And in terms of this, you beat him before. How do you believe you beat him again tomorrow night?
I think I stop him. I believe I stop him. But I'm scared, so I don't know.
And in terms of the version of yourself, what version of Lyndon Arthur are we going to see tomorrow night?
The best one that's been yet, I believe. I'm in the best shape of my life, so done everything proper for once.
Great stuff. Lyndon Arthur, look forward to this tomorrow night. Let's hear from the man in the opposite corner, Anthony Yarde. Anthony, weight made. He says it was a bit of banter, a bit of back and forth. What were you saying to each other up there?
No, I was asking if he's scared. If he's scared, talk about his glasses. I can't remember. We were just chatting shit.
I said to him there, it's one apiece. He's predicting that he'll stop you this time. I know you've said all week that one apiece annoys you. How do you settle this rivalry tomorrow in your own mind?
Everyone knows my style. I don't trash talk or nothing like that, but my style is I like to win by knockout. So regardless if it's him, anybody, I want to win the fight by knockout. So especially it being him, I'm going to win the fight by knockout.
Great stuff, Anthony. Wish you the best of luck tomorrow night. The decider in the chief support.
Well, that is the undercard weigh-in done. We still have the main event weigh-in to come. With all the drama, I'm sure it's going to be very, very spicy. And guess what, guys? I am delighted to say I am joined in the studio by the one and only Hamza Sheeraz, dapper as usual.
Trying.
It's a pleasure to have you here. When you see, you know, does this make you still hungry again for those big fights, those big fight nights? You've already been part of some just recently, obviously against Carlos Adames. You got itchy knuckles.
Yeah, for sure. It's my first outing back in like a boxing environment since the fight. I was in a bit of a dark place, but you know, I got out of it, and yeah, I'm better now.
Understandably, big changes are happening around you at your camp, your training. Can you tell us about that? What prompted those?
Yeah, no, I felt like I needed it. Not that anyone was to blame, but me as a fighter, I feel like after sitting down with my team after my last fight, we kind of identified the necessary changes, and changes meant getting rid of 80% of the people I had around me. Do you know what I mean? And choosing Andy Lee as a head trainer. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to what's to come.
Understandably, big events are on the horizon. Can you tell us about? Because I'm hearing rumours. Ring Magazine are purportedly talking about a potential July fight day in New York. Can we talk about that, or are we keeping that under wraps?
I can't say anything official yet, but if the rumours are true,
okay.
What a great fight. What a great fight. I've always said now I'm in the era of boxing where the best fight the best, and very few fighters actually do as they say. And I said after my last fight when I sat down with Frank and these guys, put me in a big fight at 168 and see how I do.
You don't want to take the easy route. We've spoken a lot this morning about weight cuts and boiling down and being dry and how it affects you. Was it an easy decision? You go, do you know what, maybe this isn't for me anymore, I've got to move on?
The decision was about 3 fights ago. But I was in a position where I was on my way to fight for a world title at 160. I was kind of covering up the fact of how hard the weight was by getting the early knockout, so I didn't know how it affected me. But like I said, nothing to blame. I put my hands up with my own decision for staying at 160, but now I'm at 168.
What do you think that fight against Carlos Adames taught you as a fighter? Obviously, didn't go your way with the split decision draw, but fighting at that level, coming out of it, and you said you went to a dark place. How has that changed you as a fighter?
Do you know what? It's matured me a lot. It's matured me a lot. It's made me realise the harsh realities of boxing and life itself. Do you know what I mean? And to just, I think the main thing is I learn from it and I move forward. That's the main thing.
And as we look at this fight, you can see obviously you're bitterly disappointed. You go in there for the win. Those moments, they usually define a degree. You can go up, you can go down. You seem like the personality and the type of fighter that will only use that as strength. Yeah,
no, for sure. And like I said, if I don't learn from this, I'm screwed. It's as simple as that. I'm screwed, and I believe myself. I've identified what went wrong, and I think if I didn't, then there'd be an issue. And yeah, I'm in a good headspace now. I'm in a good headspace. I've got 4 people around me now, and that's all I need.
You talk about a trainer like Andy needed to change the careers of so many fighters. What does he bring to you? What was that thing that when you spoke to him, you saw him, you're in boxing, you understand how it works. What was that thing that just clicked with you?
Do you know what? I didn't want to just pick him and kind of not see how he trains anyone and whatnot. So I went to watch Ben Whittaker do a training session. I liked what I saw. And then I sat down with Andy afterwards, and it's the first time ever I've seen a lot of myself in a person. And I feel like from the conversation we had, from what I saw in the gym, that it's only going to benefit me forward. And I know this is the man who's going to take me to the end of my career.
Can I jump in there 1 second? Because I really rate Andy Lee as a coach. I think it's more than just his coaching ability. He's very, very wise. He's wisdom beyond his years, and he's always been like that since a guy in his early 20s back in the Irish high performance team. But what I think will work particularly well with you is Andy was devastating at hitting people on the end of his shots, lengthening his shots, and look at the lever this guy has on him. So what better man to teach him? I think it's a great matchup.
We've spoken a bit about Chris Eubank Jr. Obviously in this fight week. He's had some things to say about you. You're always quite calm and collected.
Yeah.
What's it like being here? Have you bumped into him in and around the place? Is there still that bit of need?
I ain't seen him. I've only seen him that once at the Ring Magazine event. He's an interesting character, isn't he? He's an interesting character. I think as of now he's dialed into this fight as he should be, and I'm watching it as a fan. It's nice to have this kind of the casuals buzzing around the fight like this. It's good. The energy is brilliant.
And Tony, I want to come to you a little bit because Chris obviously had the dramas this morning trying to make weight. He probably should be fighting at 168. This man here, 168. Is that a fight that you'd want to see?
Of course, listen, I'm a big Hamza fan. Hamza's done amazing with what he's done in his career. He's had ups and downs, setbacks, and now he's found the right place where he's at. I study and listen to all of what he's just said, and I like what he's saying because people go on about moving trainers, this and that. Moving trainers is good because it's a different look, it's a different set of eyes, a different approach, and sometimes a change is as good as a break.
You get a bit stale sometimes, Tony, don't you?
It doesn't matter how good the trainer was at the start, and there's nothing wrong, and no one's to say it's wrong, but he's took that on his shoulders and he's accepted culpability and responsibility for himself, and that's credible because so many fighters come out after the loss and go, it was his fault, it wasn't mine. Because as fighters, we're the best liars in the world because we lie to ourselves. Now, it shows what a man Hamza is. He comes out, accepts all responsibility himself, and then says, I made the change for me. And the change ended. He goes to see what Ben was doing, now he's doing with him. Andy's a quality fighter, and he's been round, in my opinion, the greatest trainer boxing's ever seen. the late great Emmanuel Stewart, the Kronk. Now, Andy's been around the gyms. He's on the Island Performance Team. He was an amateur when I was an amateur, top amateur, brilliant fighter. He's been to Adam Booth as well. He's been different places, so he's got a lot of experience. He's been around world-class fighters, spent so much time in America, Detroit, in that city, sparring. He's got all this to hand over to the fighters. Look at the job he's done with Joseph Parker. He created Joseph Parker in a whole new way. He's given him a new career, a new lease of life. And I don't think Hamza needs that, but it's going to help him. It can't do anything but benefit him. And like I said before, it shows the mark of the man when he just accepts, took everything on his own shoulders, just sits here and listen. And you don't have to say anything. He's, you know, it speaks for itself. So I'm wishing you the best of luck.
Thank you, Tony.
I think only better things are going to come from him. And the experience of that Adames fight will do him the world of good. Right. When you don't get rid of someone that you may be expected to get rid of, when they're still there after them 9-10 rounds, when you're in the championship round, he didn't quit, he didn't give in. Hand completely smashed to bits. And here's the easy, just pulled up and said, that's enough. We'll fight another day. And would have got it, by the way, because he's such a brilliant hoster for Riyadh season, being an ambassador for everything else. And he deserves it because he's been fighting, but ultimately he didn't carry on fighting when he didn't have to, and that takes serious cojones, as they like to say.
And here's the thing, he didn't lose as well. A lot of fighters, they switch and change things up when they lose a fight. He drew the fight with a busted hand and stuff, so you're still an undefeated fighter, so he's in a bit better position already than other fighters who are trying to chase a win again. So I think the future is very, very bright for Hamza, as I've always have.
Hamza, it would be a travesty if I had you here and I didn't ask for a prediction or at least an understanding from you with your boxing mind of how you see this fight going.
Do you know what? Leading up to the fight, I was 50-50, and if I had to pick someone, I was picking Eubank. But I've been where he's been in terms of making weight. I know how it affects you mentally. I know how it affects you physically. I've got Conor Benn to win inside 6 rounds.
How does he do it? Does he have to come out and throw hell for lemon? Does he have to be so busy in those first 6 or 7? Because obviously he's put on a bit of size. He throws, every shot he throws is explosive. It takes a little bit out of you. To be able to do that for 12 rounds, you'd have to have a nuclear reactor in your chest, and obviously nobody has that. Does he have to try and throw hell for leather early?
I think he has to do what he's been doing. He's the younger, fresher, more energetic fighter, and like I said, I think within 6 rounds he'll get knocked out.
Wow, that is a bold prediction.
Does that make you feel gutted because it's a big fight for you?
Pardon?
Does that make you feel like, oh, I'm gutted this is going to happen?
You know, like I was saying, from a selfish perspective, I'd need Eubank to win, because down the line it'd be a good fight. But in the in the reality of things, in my opinion, I feel like he's going to lose.
We've got to talk about the other middleweight fight, Aaron McKenna, Liam Smith. How'd you see that one going? I wouldn't say old, I'd be doing Liam a disservice saying old beat young, but it is a hungry young lion up against a stalwart of boxing, somebody who's been there and who's done that. How do you see that fight go?
I think Liam Smith is going to win, just due to his experience. He's gone up a weight as well, fighting at 160. Aaron McKenna's dad doesn't do him no favours talking that much shit online. So yeah, it's interesting. I see Liam Smith getting a late stoppage.
I love having Hamza on the show because he pulls no punches. He goes in, he's purely himself.
I didn't even know his dad was online, so the first I heard I didn't even know. So he gets the right. He obviously a mini version of Garcia's dad. I haven't seen him. Have you seen him?
I'm very rarely on social media, so I haven't seen him, but I've heard a few things. Yeah.
Wow.
He's a bit nuts.
He's got his ears to the ground. We've got to talk about another super middleweight contest happening live on the Zone next week. Main man, Canelo Alvarez, William Skull, who's a lot of stuff been. I think he's probably catching a few strays. He's probably online seeing some videos of Nigel talking. What's going on here? But how did you see that one go?
In all honesty, I haven't watched much of William Skull. I haven't seen much of him, so I just feel like Canelo's going to do what Canelo does. Get the unanimous decision victory, possibly even a late stoppage, and continue to dominate.
I mean, he is the face of boxing, as they call him. I mean, there's been some incredible events. We've got Riyadh season now, ring card events over in Saudi that have really pushed the mantle in terms of what boxing can offer. What do you think the atmosphere is going to be like over there?
Unreal. It's going to be unreal. Listen, you've got to remember what you've got at stake. History, spite. You've got 2 fighters who genuinely don't like each other. And I'm sure Tony knows, if anyone knows, what's that's like and what it brings out in the fight. So we're all in for a treat.
Tell me, what does that do? Because I don't feel like Conor Benn is probably the best at taking the emotion out of fights. Whereas Chris is steely, he's a showman. I don't think whatever goes on in his head, you would never know. He's like a duck. The legs are going crazy, but on the top he looks calm.
I think he uses the emotion in a good way for himself. Like, he fights, he's an aggressive fighter. He seems to be an aggressive person from what we see at the weigh-ins and workouts and everything else. But I think he can use that to his advantage. He doesn't want to be meek and timid when he gets in the ring. If this is his persona outside the ring, I think we're going to see him go forward. But I do think he needs to be careful not to walk into an uppercut. Eubank has a very good uppercut, and Conor kind of leaning over his front foot. That might be the shot that Eubank tries to land.
When you see Conor and Chris and the 3-4 minute stare off, does that not take anything out of you? You know, usually it's like, right, all eyes, let's do our fighting on fight night. They've done a lot in this build-up. There's been some shenanigans. There's been, you know, the dad's talking. It distracts you, no?
I think, like you said, what we were just talking about before, it all comes down to how you are as a fighter. Some fighters feed off it, and other fighters use it in a negative way. And I feel like the only way it could affect Conor Benn in a negative light is due to the lack of experience of being on a big stage like this.
He always comes out, when you talk to him about that lack of experience, he says, as a 19-year-old kid with no amateur experience, walking out at the O2, a packed O2, that's pressure, right? So he feels like he might not necessarily have the same resume as Chris Eubank Jr. Might not have fought on those big nights, have had those rivals.
I think he's only trying to fool himself, I'll be honest, because a fight of this magnitude, when you've got your father's legacies at stake, that's pressure there, and that goes without saying, really.
Listen, he's going to feel it, but the reason why he's so confident is he knows in his heart of heart he can't work any harder. And when a fighter puts it in the gym and knows he's got no boxes left to tick, knows he's left no stone unturned, he walks in so confident. And that's what training to the maximum you've got gives you. That's why when you see fights walk in and you think, how is he just so confident? People call it cocky. It's not cocky, it's not, it's just pure confidence and believing what you've done away from the cameras. Behind these lights, there's another light, it's called a camp. If you take every box in that camp, you come into them lights and you shine. That's how it goes.
And we're talking about the man, and he's actually just behind us now. He's about to head down the stairs. He's in the building. He's hearing a lot of Eubank shouts. He's probably not used to being a bit of a villain, right? He was the people's champ, and Eubank was the villain. But he's here and he's kind of having a laugh with some of the fans here, putting his thumbs down. But he looks steely, he looks ready. Like you said, he's got that air of confidence. His father's behind him, which I'm sure gives him, you know, an extra pep in his step in terms of when you're coming into these events. It's almost like a comfort blanket is Nigel. He's always around him, always focused, always pushing him in the right direction.
That's his hero, Josh. That's his hero. You know, when your father's Nigel Benn, do you know what I mean?
It's not a bad dad to have.
It's not a bad dad to have.
He woke up to Superman every morning, because that's what that guy was, my hero. Never mind if he was my pops. Growing up, Nigel Benn was the man. Nigel Benn's the man from the streets who fights non-stop.
Well, he's here right now. Conor Benn's here right now, and guess who else is here right now? Michael Buffer, the legendary ring announcer, is about to bring them to the stage.
Ladies and gentlemen, in about 28 hours, from sold-out Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, London, two fighters, two arch rivals will step into the ring and face each other in the main event of a great night of world-class professional boxing for your entertainment. And now we welcome you to the official weigh-in for that main event. It's a presentation of the Bible of Boxing Ring Magazine and SNK Corporation, publisher of the video combat game Fatal Fury, City of Wolves, along with promoters Ben Shalom for Boxer, Eddie Hearn for Matchroom Boxing, and Box Raw. Sponsorship provided by the Public Investment Fund. Visit Saudi, STC, SRMG, Dr. Suleiman Al Habib Medical Group, Saudia, the national airline of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, Jeddah Season, Milaf Cola, Visit Qatar, Core Group, Dessert, NHC, Jacko, Sky, the Arab National Bank, First Data, Sella, and SMC. So now, ladies and gentlemen, the main event. 12 rounds of boxing scheduled, and the middleweight division, and on the line, legacy. But even more important, bragging rights for sure. With almost 70,000 fans in attendance, this will be broadcast and streamed live worldwide on DAZN and available on both DAZN and Sky Sports box office here in the United Kingdom. So at this time, ladies and gentlemen, let's bring the fighters to the stage and to the scales. First, from London with a perfect professional record consisting of 23 fights, 23 victories, including 14 big wins by knockout. He's the European Continental Welterweight Champion. He is Conor the Destroyer Benn. Undefeated Conor the Destroyer Benn. And now making his way to the ring from East Sussex, his professional record an excellent one, 34 victories, 25 big wins by knockout against only 3 defeats. He's the 2-time IBO Super Middleweight World Champion and the current IBO Middleweight World Champion, Chris Eubank Jr. The 3-time IBO World Champion, Chris Eubank Jr. First fighter to the scale, the Destroyer, the undefeated Conor Benn. perfect professional record, 23 fights, 23 victories, 14 wins by knockout. From right here in London, the undefeated Destroyer, Conor Benn. Stepping onto the scales.
156 pounds and 4 ounces.
156 pounds, 4 ounces. For Conor, the Destroyer Benn. Next on to the scales, the 3-time IBO World Champion. Again, his record, 34 victories, 25 wins by KO. 2-time super middleweight champion with the IBO and the current IBO middleweight champion, Chris Eubank Jr. 160.05 pounds. Scheduled for 12 rounds of boxing tomorrow night at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, London. The grudge match the world has been waiting for. On the line, legacy. On the line, bragging rights. It's Benn versus Eubank Jr.
Conor giving away a few pounds there. Obviously, we knew from this morning that Chris was tight in the weight. Conor comes in at 156.4. You can't really eat your way up to the weight, can you? That will be his optimum fighting weight.
That will have been what he's performed best in his sparring out of the match, and there or thereabouts. That's what he feels great at in the gym. That's what he's thrown fast and harder. It's an ideal thing for him. He's just not got to put on too much tomorrow now.
I think that because he hasn't had the struggle to make the weight, this may be his walk around weight, and this is the weight that he's performing best at. There may not be much of an increase, maybe a couple of pounds, I would say at the max. No more than 165, I would say. On the other hand, tomorrow night, Eubank could be maybe 180. So, yeah, it's all very, very interesting.
It could become a very, very expensive week for Chris Eubank if he comes in above that 170-pound rehydration.
Well, but he's got the full day then to recover, so he's still more time then after the 8 o'clock weigh-in tomorrow morning to gain more. So he's going to be way more than 170 tomorrow night.
I mean, Conor Benn's chain might get him up to that 160-pound limit, but look at him, look at the energy there. Chris Eubank Jr. stealing, Conor fiery as ever as he looks out to this packed-out crowd here in this fantastic venue in North London. This is it, this is history, this is 35 years in the making, a grudge match that spans 2 generations.
Tomorrow is the first time in this whole event and build-up, the first time Chris Eubank Jr. loses control of something. He won't be in control tomorrow. The first time in this whole event, everything that's gone on, the first time tomorrow he doesn't have control of something. When he lets his hands go, can't control that, and he can't stop.
Carl, when you look at these two, you can see that fiery hate. But soon, Jamie's going to be with Conor Benn. I mean, this is going to be special. You can feel the energy in this room has just gone up a notch. We're going to leave you in the capable hands of Jamie, who's with Conor Benn right now.
Okay, Conor Benn, what a stage the world awaits tomorrow night. Firstly, your reaction to everything that happened regarding Chris's weight this morning.
I mean, it's an expensive price to pay, isn't it? You know, but he's disciplined, so he should have made the weight. He's made this weight his whole career, you know, he's expecting a little bit of sympathy, but he ain't got no sympathy around here.
156.4 for yourself. What was the thinking behind that and what that weight gives you tomorrow?
156 is a weight I felt comfortable at. You know, I'm not a 160 fighter, I'm not a 154 fighter, I'm a 147 fighter. So for me, I'm just going to go in there and use my speed, explosiveness, my ferocity. It's the way I fight. You know, for me, that's not a 160.
What did you take from that final face-off?
I don't really take much from it. I mean, I don't know if I'm supposed to look scared or intimidated or, you know, I'm neither. You know, and I'm just looking forward to Saturday night. We're here now, and, you know, I plan on giving the fans the fight they want.
And in terms of the fans, in terms of the fight you think they want, tell the world what happens in the ring, Conor Benn, tomorrow night.
You know what I'm there to do. Do you know what I mean? I'm there to get a job done, get in there and get a stoppage. I'm coming in there to take his head clean off.
Conor, I wish you the best of luck tomorrow night. Thanks very much for speaking to us. We're going to head over and try and find Chris Eubank Jr. as well, if we can. Chris, we'll just bring you to the front of the stage. Chris, I have to ask, firstly, your version of events agonisingly just outside the 160 limit. What is your version of what happened and how have you processed it all?
Listen, it is what it is. If they're going to take $500,000 off of me for being 0.5 pounds off of the limit, then that's just what it is. That's the people that Eddie Hearn and Matchroom and Conor Benn are. At the end of the day, weights have no relevance to what happens tomorrow night. I'm going to go out there, I'm going to stop this guy.
How do you move forward now, with caution, of course, ahead of the second day weigh-in tomorrow?
Yeah, the rehydration clause is still in place, so I have to watch what I eat, I have to watch what I drink. But again, all these things, you know, they're set up to distract, to displace, to try and get me off of track. None of it will work.
I asked Conor, what did you take from that final face-off there here tonight?
Nothing. He is, you know, he's in for a hell of a surprise. He thinks he's going to go out there and, you know, hop, skip, and a step and a right hand, as he says. He has no idea the pain that is in store for him tomorrow night.
You got a great reception as you were walking down there off the stairs. I saw it brought a smile to your face. What is your promise, Chris, to all these fans who want to see you beat Conor Benn tomorrow? What's your promise to them?
The procedure will be parliamentary.
Chris Eubank Jr., thank you very much for speaking to us. I wish you the best of luck tomorrow night. I wonder if we can bring in Eddie Hearn and Ben Shalom. Final word from both sides of the promotional team. Ben, will bring you in first. I keep saying this. What a stage. Why does your man win tomorrow night?
Look, he's a better fighter. He's a world-level fighter. He's a fighter that's been here before in the big nights, the big pay-per-view nights, and ultimately it will just become down to who can handle the pressure and who's a better boxer, and that's Chris Eubank Jr. every day of the week, and I cannot wait to put this to bed on Saturday night.
Thanks, Steve. Thank you, Ben. Thank you very much. Let's bring in promoter Eddie Hearn. Eddie, same question to you, really. Obviously, a little bit of drama. Today wouldn't be boxing without a little bit of drama, but what is your version of events tomorrow for Conor Benn?
You know, Chris is a great fighter, the IBO middleweight champion of the world. Couldn't make middleweight this morning, but that's okay. Everybody needs a bit of discipline in their life, and Conor Benn's ready. You know, the swing and the mojo has just switched so much, and it will continue to swing over the next 24 hours. But for me, no one's asking a question about Conor Benn coming up 2 weights, taking on a man that's much bigger to him. And you will see him chop down the tree tomorrow night in front of 65,000 people at Tottenham Hotspur. His father will be there ring walking with him. This means so much to the family, the legacy, everything. I've never met a young man that wants to win so bad. Everything that he's been through over the last couple of years, God works in mysterious ways. Watch us get justice tomorrow night. Watch him take out Eubank. I thought 6 rounds. Conor says inside 2 rounds. We'll split the difference. Ben inside 4 rounds.
Thank you, Eddie. The talking is over. All that's left to do is fight.
And all there is left to do tomorrow night is a fight. Chris Eubank Jr. against Conor Benn. Powered by Fix Fury City of the Wolves, live on the Zones at 5 o'clock. Now, You can buy that now at DAZN.com/boxing. But this weekend, there is so much more action. This Saturday, Fatal Fury, Eubank against Benn will finally settle a 35-year family feud in front of a sellout crowd at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. You can buy that now at DAZN.com/boxing. And do not forget, there is also Cruiserweight World Champion Chris Camozzi takes on Andrea the Italian Thunder Vici at BKFC 73 in Italy. And Dream Boxing brings us Adrian Krasnicki against Diego Ramirez on Saturday night. Don't forget, Kurt Scooby will take on Jesus Vasquez Jr. live from New Jersey. Remember, you can keep up to date with all of the events on offer by heading to the DAZN platform and going to the schedule section where you'll find the live action, including the big one this weekend.
Eubank Jr. versus Benn. Over 30 years of rivalry and hatred. I do hate him. Two warriors, two wars. But the feud was left unfinished.